Kapiti FM, locals talking to locals.
Our pleasure to welcome to the program the Mayor of the Horowhenua District Council. Horowhenua, to beg your pardon. I've just looked up Bernie Wandon's phone number to email to Nigel. You see, this is my excuse because, of course, the Anzac Day is coming up. No doubt you'll be involved in that, and Nigel's doing the program on Saturday morning. So let's start again. And a very good morning to the Mayor of the Kapiti Coast District Council. Good morning to you, Guru.
Good morning. I didn't know you wanted to change my colour.
Your colour is immutable and you should be very proud of it. However, let's just move on to what some people are saying is the most important decision or political decision that our politicians will make in their political lifetimes. I'm referring to the central government politicians. The discussions will start at 10:30 today, and they will be very difficult discussions about whether and when to lift the current alert level on the COVID-19 response. What is your opinion about where we should go?
I think we need to take a lead from what's happening overseas. We know that in Singapore there's been another resurgence of the infection. South Korea is having it. So I think the Prime Minister is right, or the current government is right, to say that we don't want to lose what we've already gained through this lockdown that we've had, which has worked effectively really well. We have had the cooperation of the public, the cooperation of the opposition parties. They've done extremely well. We don't want to go to a situation where we relax too much and then end up having clusters of this servicing, which could get out of hand, costing more lives. The rationale being that if we take the pain up front, long term we'll be better off, rather than have a situation in the future where we are trying to juggle between moving from 4 to 3 or 2 to 4. This is going to be disastrous. And I think the banks and also some of the think tanks are agreeing on that principle.
Indeed.
So I think I would expect, my position is that we extend the lockdown a little bit further and then look at level 3 plus, which means the level 3 which will enable the economy to take start, but with restricting personal movement.
Yes. For what it's worth, and of course my opinion is worth nothing, but I would keep it on until at least Tuesday to get over the Anzac weekend.
That's right.
And that gives businesses possibly a little bit more time to plan. However...
And I think it's also important to note that the issue came close to home when we had our first death from COVID infection last week.
Yes, the local
death. I think that's a wake-up call.
Yes, it became very real, didn't it? So this is a thing. It has been in our community. A lot of testing going on in our community, which is a very good thing. And I believe the results from that are relatively encouraging. So we have this very difficult decision where we want to keep the COVID at bay, but of course we have to get people back into work. And the thing about New Zealand is that we do not live in a police state, thank heavens. We have got to govern by public support, because we haven't got the troops to go out there and coerce people. And so far we've done the good thing. I suspect you're right, it would be very difficult to go from level 3 back to level 4 again. I think that might be a bit too much for some people.
The economists are saying that the damage will be huge. Because then the public confidence will be, we want a slow progress in stages. Mm-hmm. When you give a jolt and you go back to the impact on the psychology of people, and businesses work on the psychology of people's confidence, that will take a huge hit.
Indeed. I wonder if we can talk about how it affects the KCDC. The last time you talked, you indicated that possibly by Thursday of this week we'd have a little more clarity around the annual plan and the budget setting. How is that going?
Yeah, it's actually going quite good. The councillors have been working really well. Staff have been amazing. The first package we discussed this last week. On the 30th, we'll be making our full council decision to draft the annual plan and also the engagement process that needs to be done. We'll have communications around what we have proposed for the whole month of May. And then on June 4th, we'll make the decision on actually what the rate is going to be.
Okay.
And that would be a package, We know that the last public workshop that we had, we were looking at a 5.7.
Yes.
Right? That was before 5.8, 5.7. That was before the lockdown, before the COVID level 4, or even, suddenly we realized what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
What's happened since then is we are looking, and I know there are a lot of people who have been talking about the zero rate increase. We will need to be flying as close to that as possible with the view that, look, we need to be supporting the community, ratepayers, and the businesses without undermining our ability to be a financially functioning organization looking ahead.
So is it possible to get close to zero? I thought that a lot of your expenditure was on loan repayments, which I imagine will be a fixed cost that have to be met anyway.
Yes, but I think in the details will be coming, we are still under discussion on this matter. I think it is an aim towards that, but not necessarily to do it in the sense it will undermine it. The advice we've got from the National Group of Local Government Department, Internal Affairs, and the Society of Local Government Managers has been that the councils right across the country are at different levels.
Yes.
And we need to customize our ability to establish the rate according to our local circumstances. So it's not a one-size-fits-all.
Fair enough. I imagine that there's going to be some really tough calls involved in this because, of course, we have the usual wish list from community boards and others, people who want money being spent on various things. I imagine that a lot of those will fall by the wayside. Would that be a correct assumption?
I think given the economic situation and the recession and need to get out of it and the uncertainties, it's more heavily on the minds of elected members, community board members included, that we need to reprioritize. And I think that's huge. The level of discipline that's been reflected among the elected members is akin to the level of discipline that the whole country is undertaken. There is gut level understanding that things have changed and things will continue to change, and therefore we need to reprioritize our expenditure.
Fair enough. One final question. Are you happy with citizens going out, taping up playgrounds to try and warn people off using them? I know we talked about the health and safety aspects for your staff, but what about the health and safety of the citizens doing this sort of stuff?
Well, I think the message has been heavily publicized around playgrounds and stuff like that. It would have been in the early stages that you thought a need was there.
Yes.
But to undermine your own, when there's isolation, stay home, be safe, and save lives. If you yourself are going out and breaking it, at a time when the national message on playgrounds has inundated the public mind, and so you go out and do this, I think it's foolhardy. It's foolhardy.
It is foolhardy. And have you had any thoughts again about putting up notices? Because I cannot see that there is a great health and safety issue for your staff by knocking up the notice in the workshop and going out and banging it into the ground. I can't see where the health and safety issue is there.
You're right in the sense of I've had a conversation with the executive around this. The point is also, even when you put up the signs, you'll have the community idiots who will go around and use it. But that can't be done. But what you're saying is you need to put up the signs in many places because it may be useful.
Yes, it may be useful. I think it certainly is useful to hammer down the point. And of course, if we do go to a level 3, my understanding is that playgrounds will still be off limits, and therefore those signs, if they go up, they'll be valid for quite some time to come, I imagine.
Yes, I mean, I've been on some other councils and said, look, you need to be concerned with putting up those gates. They fall apart really fast. But I think the signs may be useful. But some of the playgrounds have got 2 or 3 entrances, so you have to multiply that. But I take your point, it could be a small price.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Once again, we appreciate your time on Beach FM. You're welcome anytime. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Gurunathan, the Mayor of the
Kapiti Coast. Kapiti Coast.
We are too. We are the Kapiti Coast. Thank you so much for joining us, Guru. That's great.
106.3 Beach FM.